thousands of people stood ready, cheering, chanting, music, anticipation at its absolute peak. We've all experienced a situation kind of like this. We've all been through schooling systems, we've all had exams, we've had moments of pressure that we imagine is synonymous to the grand finale of a show, of a world's tour, of a football stadium, of being your own hero. That's what I was reminded of today. Today I went down to the Geelong Ironman, half Ironman, where I got to spend about half an hour, 40 minutes with a two-time Olympian who actually came second in his debut Ironman only 2 weeks ago in New Zealand. And what's funny, I had no idea who he was. We were getting a sandwich, and after watching some the thousands of people run into the water, come off of the bike, and we were like, great, before they start finishing on the run, let's go and get some food. So we stopped off, and I saw a guy with a really nice bike waiting in line for some food, and I was like, oh, is that bike yours? It's lovely. And I was like, why do you look like you're doing the race? And I thought he had told me that he was thinking of racing and pulled out at the last minute, but he'd actually done half of the race already and decided to stop halfway through because his legs were very lactic-y. His heart rate was all good, but he wasn't able to put the power down to achieve the result that he wanted. And we got talking, and it's amazing to see the aspirations that this person has. Pierre Lacour, what a pleasure to meet you and to get to cheer on your partner, Alexia. But it really got to explain the message of a show that I went to on Friday night to go see Chris Williamson. And in that, a big part of his world tour at the moment is talking about, we're always waiting for the adults. We're always waiting for the people who know what they're doing to come around. And the truth is, no one does. We're all making it up as we go. This is the first time any of us have lived life, right? No one got a second attempt. And so we're all just people. And the more you get exposed to the people at the higher levels who have done these things that you imagine their life is always the final show, is always the peak day, you've realised it's not true. Yeah, we have those moments, but then even when you talk about those moments with those people, you have experienced the same level of stress, anticipation, build-up for a final moment that they have, and you can really understand the things that they have, the experiences they feel, and the things that they look to do in their life are not that different from yours. And it's wonderful to tear that wall down. And it was amazing to get to spend time with someone who I truly admire immediately, having no idea who they are, but you don't end up having that moment of, who is this person and what are they doing? And so I've actually just sent him a message to say thank you for spending time with me. It was a pleasure to meet him, and if he ever wants to talk business, I'm here. And I left him with one parting question, which I'm very excited to see what he says. And it's an uncomfortable question. So I'm really interested to see how he's dealt with it, being 6 years my senior. Was that essentially he's made it to the Olympics, which by anyone's measure is an incredible feat. To be a two-time Olympian, phenomenal. And then to come fourth place in the world. No one can argue you are not one of the best who has ever walked this planet. So much so, by the way, that he swam his race this morning faster than Millie can run. But I wanted to know, how did he respond to that situation immediately after, and in the time after it, you know, in a longer time period. Because coming from my experience of closing down my chocolate factory, you can write any story with any narrative that you want. Any story that you write, it can be a story of a hero or a story of a villain, or the downtrodden or the uplifted. And we have a tendency to play the sad story in our head, even though the people around you are telling you how lucky you are. And I'm just intrigued to know how he dealt with that, how he actually felt, and all this sort of stuff, because I'm very much coming around to this transformation in my life where when I fall short and when I succeed in the goals I set, it doesn't weigh so heavily either way, and I'm trying to enjoy the process so much more, which is why I even showed him the pictures of my Ironman day as I was looking out at the people at the race, watching them come out of the water, and so many people were so serious and not enjoying it, whereas I came out of the water with the biggest beaming smile on my face, because the journey is what you've got along the way. And I know that when I finished the race, I didn't get the sense of achievement that I was expecting. I was so overwhelmed with pain and emotion that I was too aroused, from the scientific term, to feel anything. That there was just too much stimulation. I was overstimulated and could do and feel nothing else. But it wasn't pure emotion and joy, it was just feeling, mostly pain, because of the stomach cramp that I had. And so now I just try to enjoy it a lot more, but it does mean the highs aren't as high, but it means the lows are nowhere near as low as well. And that's the transformation I've tried to make personally. But it's amazing, and I'm so fortunate to be meeting more and more people who I admire, who understand what it takes to become someone that is admired or could be admired. I'm not comparing myself to an Olympian. I'm not saying I am an Olympian or I'm that worthy of admiration, but I try to live a life that I look back on and go, I would be proud to be that person. You know, I'm proud of the stories that I have, especially when I look back, even though right now it doesn't feel like that monumental a story, but I'm reminded of these things when I meet new people, and Pierre was shocked that I only have to work really 3 hours a day. And to him, that was a massive feat of achievement. But in terms of measuring stick, I'm a tenth of where I want to be, you know? And so it's really easy to continue to push your goalposts. But then this is the one place I will push back about Chris Williamson's journey, story. The point of his tour was really for the type of person who's always pushing, is to stop and smell the roses a little bit, is in the marshmallow test to actually take the marshmallow and eat it. So if you don't know about the marshmallow test, very quickly, there's a direct correlation between our ability to delay gratification and the success we're likely to achieve. So there's a study done with children. You put a marshmallow on a plate and you say, don't touch that, and when I come back you can have two. Basically. But the problem is, if you never eat the marshmallow, it will go stale. And so you end up with none. And that was the thing that Chris was getting onto about his entire thing. His entire tour basically is about that, as of these people who are constantly pushing, actually sit there and enjoy it for some time. And he asked questions about introspection and all of this, and we didn't resonate with a lot of those things. Like, I have a beautiful car back home that I am going to sell. I am living in an amazing city in a flat that I think is fantastic, and I am yet to experience the getting in my car and not loving it. And every time I get in it, I'm like, this is sick. Every time I come into my apartment, I'm like, yeah, we live here. And I love showing people around, and I don't get that sense of, it does become normal, don't get me wrong, but I still am grateful for it every time, which I'm so proud of. And And so I think for me, I think I will eat the marshmallow. And I'm trying to more and more because I'm very good at delaying things, but I know that I believe that when I get there, I'm not going to push my goalposts. I do have a goal, a 20 mil sellout. I have that goal. And when I get there, I don't see it being a 100 mil sellout. I see it as achieving the thing I wanted to achieve, and then I have permission from myself to move on and spend time with the next stuff that I want to do. Because there's so much I want to do, but I want to be proficient. I want to be proud of what I've done with the level of skill that I've developed, as measured by my own measuring stick, not by, I think, other people's. And I think that's where the change comes from. So I don't know if that makes me normal or not, but just some thoughts that I've been having today. And so I love asking people who they are, what they've done, where they've come from. And yeah, super happy I get to share that with you. And it's going to be a fun one to look back on. So yeah, what a day. Awesome. Have a great one, guys. Peace. I'm trying to stop it.